You get away from her, you big mean. Hey, guys. What? Could you please do whatever it is you're doing somewhere else? I'm recording right now. Okay, come on, let's go be epic somewhere else. Oh, I'm sorry for that interruption, guys. Welcome to a new review. This time I'm going to be reviewing the Neca Bishop action figure, and he's pretty good, but he does have some flaws, and I'll go over that in a second. First, let's take a look at the package. Now, this is a already open package, of course, so keep that in mind. But there's the image of Bishop on the side, and the Bishop that they show as the prototype looks a lot better than the finished product here, but still a good figure, but I'll get into that in a second, like I said. So there's the Bishop, and look, if you look close enough, you can see me in the reflection. Let's stop that. I don't want to see that. Okay, and then there's another image of Bishop. I think that's a different image, right? Yeah, different image. Then we've got the aliens thing up there, as well as a nice image of him in the back. Or on the back, not in the back. No, yeah, there he is. Yeah, very nice. And then we've got images of other figures from the wave, such as, I think that's the dog alien from Alien 3, which originally was going to be a bowl alien, but whatever. I hate Alien 3. I'll never watch that movie ever again. That's just so horrible. And then there's the Kane figure from the first movie, and then there's Bishop here. So 3 figures in the wave, and here is probably the better of the wave. Okay, so he comes with a few accessories. He comes with this flashlight piece, which I'll go over in a second, this extra hand, and a knife, which I'm pretty sure all of his accessories were in the movie, and they're pretty good accessories. I would also like a dissected looking face hugger like he had and was looking at in the movie, but that's sort of optional. Again, these that he came with are pretty much the bare essentials that you would need for your Bishop figure, because he never fired a gun or anything. He did hold a gun at once when they, like, I think Vasquez hands him the gun and he's like, looks at it and hands it to Ripley. Because he's a robot. What's he gonna do with it? But yeah, this looks a lot like Lance Henriksen, the actor, and I like Lance Henriksen. He's a good actor, and he's really weird in some stuff, but still likable. And though he's never been much of a beauty queen, let's just put it that way, he's not a very pretty actor, male actor, but that's the cool part of him. He's always ugly and balding, but cool. And that's what he's got going for him. And this figure captures that pretty well, except for his eyes are weird. They're very glossy, so that in this picture that you're saying, it looks like it's painted badly, but it's not really painted badly that is the problem. Well, it's just the way it's designed. His eyes are way too wide. It makes him look like he's scared, and I don't really think Bishop was scared at any point. I mean, maybe when he was in half he looked a little scared, but before that, everything he was just calm and collected. And Lance Henriksen always has his very almost half-shut eyes, and so this doesn't work for him. I'm going to repaint this, make his eyes a little more fitting, but the paint on everything else is really great. Yeah, so we're going to go over the sculpt first here. The hair is very well sculpted. This guy's weird choppy hairstyle that he had there. Not sure if that was some sort of toupee going on there, but it was really weird looking hair. And then his body here is this weird rubber sculpt, which is supposed to give the look of a jumpsuit. However, it works up top, but then when it gets down to the bottom, it looks a little more diaperish, and it's too, like, loose on him and thick, to the point where it's really odd. That's like floppy and loose off of there. Yeah, it just doesn't look completely fitting. They should have made it a little more tight to his body. Because, I mean, I know it was a little loose on the actor, but it wasn't, like, loose down here. It was just, like, loose around baggy at the pants. Yeah. But other than that, it's really nicely sculpted. It's got the belt there and all. I'm not sure. Over long times, I'm pretty sure rubber on regular plastic starts to have some weird reactions, and this will, like, lose color and start melding to the plastic parts, but I don't know. We haven't really seen what these new Neca figures look like with 20 years of age on them. But at some point we will, and that might be the saddest time of our lives. Okay. And yeah, pretty solid. I love his shoes. Those are really nice. They look like some sort of new shoe, like a shoe they have out now. I'm not sure, some sort of Nike, but I love those. Look at that. He and Ripley have really kick-butt shoes. I would say the kick-A thing, but I'm trying to keep from swearing. Very nice. And he's got a very nice blue color to him, where his whole suit looks like a night blue or navy blue, whatever they call it. And then he's got this lighter blue for where his sleeves are like rolled up here. And those seem like to be a separate piece that is rubber, so it doesn't restrict the bending at his arms so much. It's also got a little painted, I think that's the USCM, United States Colonial Marines, or whatever thing, and it's kind of, I don't think my camera can pick it up because it's just like really tiny. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it looks like it says name on it as well. Let me look at it up close here. Yeah, no, it says USS Sulaco. That's the ship that they were on, the gunship looking thing, that sent them to the planet. Let me try and get some focus here. What the heck? Oh, camera problems. Most people wouldn't know these sort of camera problems. Might as well just look at them up close here. Okay, let's look at some articulation. I think we've gone, well, the face paint is really good. Let me just put it that way. This flesh tone is really nice, and that is much better than the Ripley that they had, that they didn't really paint her face much. I don't know, it was just lacking something to me. It still looks good, but I like the way his is painted to look more like actual flesh, and it's got some weird, like, little pocks in it to make it look more like human skin here. And I like that. So then, his head articulation, it can move side to side, not too much, can't do a full 360, but that doesn't really matter. It has the head pivot, and it can look up, not much. Can look down quite a bit, though, which is probably good, because he's always looking down at stuff. It's more fitting. And then his shoulders can move not quite to a right angle, upward, but whatever. Can move full 360 at the shoulder, and then at the elbow, full 360. Can bend to past 90 degrees, at least on this arm. We'll check the other in a second. Hand does full rotation and has a ball joint in it, so it can move up and down, side to side, but not as much as if it were a hinge joint, but that doesn't really matter for me. Other arm does about the same articulation, I believe, except for when it comes to the bend. It doesn't bend quite as much here, so less than 90-degree angle on the other hand, but that doesn't really matter because unless you want to get him in machine gun poses, that'll probably be a problem, but actually, he looks like he could still do a machine gun pose. Let me grab a machine gun here. I know, Bishop's never carried a machine gun, but dang it, I don't really care. Let me just test this out here. Well, he can kind of hold it. It's more of a problem with the way his hands are sculpted. They're not really sculpted for holding a gun, but if they were more gripping, he could hold that pretty well. Then you could display him. I could imagine people wanting him to be like another type of robot and just like get a bunch of these and have just like an army of robots or cyborgs or androids, whatever they were called in that, I don't quite remember. Also, I didn't point out his watch is fairly nice. It's got a little silverish blue colored piece there in the middle, then 2 red dots and just a black band all the way around. It's got some sculpted detail on it. That's pretty nice. Okay, now his legs. Oh yeah, other hand does the same rotation with a ball joint. Now his legs. He can kick forward to an extreme amount, and that seems to kind of stress the rubber a bit. So I wouldn't suggest leaving him in this pose for too long, as well as it sort of makes this weird plastic part stick out at the bottom. Yeah. But yeah, that's a weird problem. And he can kick out to the side quite a bit. Again, stresses the rubber, and over time will probably cause a lot of problems. And as you can see, it's separating a slight bit there, where the rubber has this slit on the side that's connecting it. I don't think that's on the other side, that's just this. So it like went over there and then they glue it on this side. But anyway, he can kick out that much, and then his knees can bend to this degree, as well as it has some rotation, full 360 rotation there. And then the ankle is a bit of a ball joint, so it can move forward, back, side to side pivot type thing. Yeah, just about what you would need for that figure. He can kick out to the other side, so this guy can look like a real karate dude. I think of all the NECA figures, he's probably got the best leg articulation when it comes to the hips. So yeah, at the hip there, he can kick out further. That's pretty good. Then the knee, yeah, the knees can bend to almost a 90-degree angle. I would say just short of that, to the point where he can actually look like he's sitting in a vehicle. But they don't actually have vehicles their size that I'm sure of. That I know of, that is. But, yeah. And just upon observation, this guy's a little wobbly. Like, if once you move his legs around, they start getting a little more loose, and he gets top heavy, so I'm gonna have to repair that. There's a way of repairing joints that are floppy. You just, like, use some dental floss that's, like, non-flavored, if you can. Just wrap it around there, pull it tight, and sort of, like, glue it down in an area. But, I don't know, that's revealing my secrets. Magicians never reveal their secrets. He also had some paint on this joint, and it rubs off as you move it to the point where it just disappears. That doesn't matter too much because it's kind of covered up by the sleeve that's rolled down here. So unless you have it straight down, which would look weird, it won't really get noticed. So I don't mind that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about him, I think. Now let's move to his accessories, which I have not gotten to yet. This hand is meant for this accessory, and really this is the more relaxed hand, so that if you don't want anything in his hands, he'll just have this hand, and it doesn't look weird. But here's his flashlight. Let's get a close-up look here. It's got orange on the side here, nice rubber strap attached, but the piece itself is a separate piece, so hard plastic and rubber. And then it's got this other part, which I suppose is like a LED type flashlight. Then on the front there's another flashlight type. So I don't remember this in the movie too well, but I do remember when he was crawling through those tunnels, he did use something like this. So I'm just going to say it's accurate because NECA, they always get it spot on. Yeah, and you can hold that pretty well. I'm not sure what positions, because the rubber doesn't like flop backwards or anything, if you want to have him like holding it in different positions, it will look a little odd with the rubber defying gravity. So the way I pose him is like this, where it's like using the LED part to like scan over stuff. Yeah, that's the better way, I think. And then the hand pops out. It's very tight, so you have to be careful. It doesn't feel like it's going to break because there's a pretty big joint in there, and it's pretty solid overall there, so I'm not so worried about that, but I am a little bit worried about over time. So like right now, it's not a problem, but 30 years from now, when I still have this same figure, it's probably going to be a problem. But this hand is the more tight one. This is the knife holding hand, which is... It's got an interesting sculpt on it, which I will show you in a second. It's got that pinky sticking out so that the knife can go there, but if you don't have the knife in his hand, he looks like he's trying to be a polite tea drinker. Or he's doing a pinky promise. Pinky swear or something like that. And then he's got the little open hand there, so this tiny little knife, which looks fairly nice. It's actually got some teeth on the side here, as well as just silver wash over black, and then the back has this silver added piece. So this is a really nice knife. I don't know if you guys can pick that up because I do have a lot of focus problems, but whatever. You can put it in this way, which makes him look more like he's gonna mug you. Give me all your money, give me your change, I don't know, what does a robot want? Give me your oil, give him. I'll gut you. But then this is the more accurate way of holding it, because in the movie, he uses this to stab at people's hands. No, like seriously, it's that game where you stab in between your fingers, but if he came with an extra splayed fingered hand, like it was like this, and then he had a little more articulation so he could do it right, I think that would be cool, because we could have a table here and just have him chunk, 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 chunk. And he did that with Hudson, who actually got a figure, and I'll probably review him later in the future, but until then, just stick with the ones you have. And yeah. So that looks pretty cool. Just pose him like that, have a little table, that would look awesome. I actually prefer to have him with this knife just because he looks more menacing, and interesting. He also looks kind of like a serial killer, like his jumpsuit. He looks like Jason or something. What is it? Does Jason have the jumpsuit? Yeah, pretty sure. So yeah, he's pretty sweet, and let me put him side by side with some of his fellow figures. Neca Aliens figures. There's Hicks, who I think I'll do a review for Hicks because he is my favorite of the wave, and Michael Bihn's my favorite actor, actually. He's been in Terminator and this, and just anything else I see him in, I tend to like him, so yeah, he gets my favorite actor award, I guess. And then, yeah, there's just some fellow figures from the wave. I actually own quite a few from the overall waves, but not all of them, so I couldn't review them all for you guys. And I got this guy for my birthday, which I just turned 18, so yay for me. Yeah, and I believe my sister got me this one, my little sister. So that was a really nice present, and this is a really nice figure. I would recommend him, especially if you're a Aliens fan. If you're not an Aliens fan, then probably just a toss off to the side figure. But this guy and this guy, if you're not an Aliens fan, these figures are still awesome over here. Maybe even Ripley. But anyway, guys, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure to check back for in the future when I have other videos. Make sure to stick around. I really love you guys. Peace.